What's up, everybody? This week in gaming, Fallout rides again, Baldur's Gate balls out, and so much more. This is the Nerd Cave News, and I am one of your hosts, Zach Dykes, joined by there once was a resilient frontier pioneer known for his relentless curiosity. Exploring the western United States, he discovered an ancient cave in the Rocky Mountains filled with mysterious magic. Deciphering its secrets granted him extraordinary powers, leading him on a journey that blurred the lines between reality and mysticism. He was no other than the great explorer, Silas Harper.
I like the exposition, and the name was okay. After being, not here for a week, it's just great to have a name to rank. Or not, no, I was here last week, just not having a name last week.
Hey, you had your own name. I'm sorry if you don't like your own name, Derek. You know what I mean?
You golden opportunity to say, breaking news, Derek is actually John Stevenson.
Well, Derek is always John Stevenson.
Well, the names are, it's like, whose line is it anyway? It's all made up and it doesn't matter. Now, where I would put this, because again, the exposition was actually solid. I have to kind of put this, but I don't know if it's top 10 worthy, because we got 14 names. I don't know if it's top 10 worthy. So I got to put this right below Captain Silverstride at the new number 11.
There we go. Well, Silas Harper, we're glad that you're here. Welcome, everybody, to the stream. This episode of the Nerd Cave News is brought to you by the Epic Game Store, where you can support us by using creator code NerdCave at checkout and our wonderful patrons, but more about that later. Before we get into the gaming discussion, Derek, I got to check in. Well, one, I'm gonna take this comment. I tried, Derek. I try so hard for you. It just ain't good enough.
Listen, Amy, you do try, and I appreciate it. It's definitely more thought than Zach gives me. We've only been best friends for how long now? So, and he doesn't put it. He puts in a halfway effort. You actually do try. However, unfortunately, you can't win them all every week. Amy, you have, you consistently
You're
are
digging
the
a grave
top
here, bro. You're digging a grave. You just stop. You just say,
What?
I'm sorry. You just say, I'm sorry, and then you move on. And you don't do it again.
I'm sorry, Zach puts in no effort.
So moving on, guys. Derek is no longer part of the show. See, I got complete power over here, Derek. I got complete power.
It's okay. You can just talk then for the whole show. It's okay.
You know. So, Derek, I got to check in with you.
Okay.
What you been playing?
So, the week is upon us, my good sir. College football is here, and it is back, baby. Woo! So I splurged because I was off Monday, and I was like, I was looking at the deluxe edition. I remember what we talked about with the Ultimate Team last week, and I'm like, I had to cave in because you got to play it 3 days early. Unfortunately, I didn't buy it till late, so I let it download overnight because I had to go to, early to bed, early to rise before the sun rises. But then when I got off Tuesday and got in a few games, and man, it was so good to hear that drumline beat. It was a generic drumline beat, but man, it was so good to hear that and to hear the EA Sports logo and hear the crowd roar. It was just fun to do. And I played a few exhibition games, in the original college, they didn't really let you pick your favorite team, and Madden they did. But now they let you do that in college football. They let you pick your team, so you could pick Florida, and it'll just be it'll always default to going to Florida first.
Okay.
So, and of
I
course,
remember that being a feature later on. if I
Really?
remember right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could
See,
like
it's
default.
been 11 years, so I don't remember it, honestly.
Yeah, it was a later edition if I remember correctly.
Okay, so us old heads, we don't we don't always remember back that far back. um, but no, it's fun. Like, I don't know if I like the kicking mechanic because it's a meter that goes back and forth. And I'm just,
Instead of
it's
like the
well, it still lets you angle, like do the angle arrow, but
yeah.
like it's just like a power, like it's just something that goes back and forth, like a ticker, and I'm like, I don't know if I like this. Like, I mean, on the harder difficulties, like anything else, it's all way faster, so you have to like time it. But other than that,
Mm.
like the gameplay is just like how you remember it, and it just feels like what I do like is like when you like say you just clicked and you're like, all right, what did I select? And you hit the right trigger to pull up to see what you selected. It actually when it shows the play, it actually does it like you're drawing on the chalkboard.
Oh,
Like,
that's really cool.
yeah, the
That's
aesthetic
really
of it.
cool.
It looks like because you could see like the arrows are drawn on and everything. I'm like, okay, that's dope. So, and of course, like the routes you can have up to like now 12 different selections instead. If you want to audible the hot route.
Mhm.
And today I played since I had to get off work early before I hit overtime. So I did a little bit of Road to Glory, which is or Dynasty mode, I should say, where you pick your team, start a career, like get your team built up. And like I played one game, solid. Of course, you start off with with this season's schedule, and then you go through the recruiting process. You get to pick up to
Mhm.
35 targets that you want to hit for your recruiting class and narrow it down and then scout them. They give you scouting points so you can get more in depth and be like, oh, this is a diamond in the rough, or this one is not as good as you think he is. So be
Mm.
cautious on who you offer scholarships to and all that kind of stuff. And you get to select, it's like, oh, do you want to check his social media history? Do you want to DM him? Do you want to invite his family and friends? Do you want to go all out? Just have him come to the stadium, come to like experience the campus, and you can spend points into that. So that'll be the most tedious thing, but it's like, man, I just want to play the games, man. Like, I don't want to dig through this minutia, but it is fun. It is, it is intriguing to play. Then, of course, I had to check out the Ultimate Team, and it's like what you would experience in any other sports game. You start off with a like 67 overall team, and then you go through the intros to upgrade. So, but like they give you a couple packs if you buy the deluxe edition, where you get the cover star athlete pack, which is like the three of the star players from that's going into this year in college football. It's like the Texas quarterback, the Michigan running back, and the Colorado wide receiver.
Mm.
Of course, all 80s, so that you get to pick from them, and then you get to pick your alma mater pack, which is like, oh, select which school or like which conference, and then select which school or whatnot that you want to select a star player. And of course, it's only one, so it might be a linebacker, might be a corner, might be a wide receiver, quarterback. So you never know. It's pretty much like one of the better players that's on the team for this year. And
Mhm.
then what it is, it's like the legacy where you get to pick like one great player from back. I don't know if it's like, no, it's not. I don't know if it's from last year or if it's just like from recent history, but you get to pick some really good players in the pack if you buy the deluxe edition. So I haven't done any of the mini games or anything like that, but I just try to dabble in a few more game modes other than just like head to head type deals. So, but the game just feels like doesn't feel like backyard football or like backbreaker or any of the knockoffs that we've had over the year. Like certainly not Doug Flutie's Maximum Football 25 or what Um, but no, it's a fun time. Obviously, not all of the pageantry is as like it still has its pageantry, but like doesn't change it's still the same generic drum line every time you boot up. It's not like, so let's say you select your school, it's not their fight song or not their drum beat or whatever it is.
Mhm.
It's like missing just little touches. But let's be fair, people just care about wanting to play the darn game because
Yeah.
we've waited over 11 years to get back into this world, and we're finally here. They can add that into next year. All we
Yeah.
care about is how does it play this year
Yeah.
after being gone for so long.
So my question for you, so you said you're playing Dynasty mode.
Mhm.
What college did you pick?
So obviously, we both went to Troy, and I probably will start another one with Troy, but I had to
Mhm.
pick one because I'm a Wisconsin person, so like I like Green Bay, Milwaukee Bucks, Milwaukee Brewers, so I had to pick the Wisconsin Badgers just to see because they don't get the love they deserve a lot of the time, so I'm going to
There's
start
a
that.
reason.
Shut up. When's the last time Florida was relevant?
Anytime I talk about them, they could become
Oh,
relevant.
okay. I'm not
Anytime I
talking
talk
about
about
talking. I'm talking about on the field.
them, they were okay last year, and then they fell off. You know,
But that's not being okay is not the standard, sir.
I know that. But okay, so you're playing with Milwaukee. Have you tried Road to Glory at all?
No, I haven't tried. I wanted to try it, but I had to finish up the last um set of challenges in Ultimate Team, and it's like it was like the intro set, and it was like, all right, now that you've gone through offense, defense, special teams, all this kind of stuff, now let's put it all together. And it's like it only gives you like 3 minute quarters, and it like clock is just constantly running, and it's like score
Hmm.
10 points a quarter. And I'm like, oh, come on. So I had to repeat some a few times, and I got done literally at like 20 till, and I'm like, I got to get ready for the show. So I'm off tomorrow, so I might dabble in Road to Glory tonight or tomorrow.
Okay, so last question, and I'll talk about some of the stuff that I've been jumping into as well,
Yeah.
and Joe's. But what is the standout feature that has been added that just really excited you once you saw it and felt it in the game?
So I think honestly, it's the passing mechanic because you can toggle between. Of course, you have your standard, which is just like, hey, tap it if you want to just lob it, hold it if you want the bullet throw, kind of double tap it if you want sort of like more of a touch pass and stuff like that. But also you can get the receivers involved. And like because they have a meter that pops up, but it's like, all right, what type of catch do you want to do? Do you want to
Mm,
do aggressive? Do you want to do catch and run? Do you want to do possession catch? So, and that kind of flares in between, like, of course, if the defender's close to you, that kind of thing. But other than that, that's pretty much like, I kind of I kind of toggle between it. And of course, where it's like left up to you to make the decision. I'm just like, I'm a little rusty because I haven't played sports games in a while. So let me go back to standard and then let me get my feet wet. And once I do that, maybe I'll go back to it and try my hand at making my own decisions.
hmm. Okay. So for fans of the series,
Mm-hmm.
NCAA and everything, do you think this is what we've been wanting for 10 years, 11 years, however long it's been?
Obviously, okay. If you only ever played college football and you haven't had play and you tried Madden here and there and you just didn't like it, this will get you back into it because there was who was I talking with? There was someone who doesn't even watch college sports that just played NCAA like because they just love the game so much. So if it's something that you've been waiting for and just want to get back into the world of sports games, this will do it for you. However, if you're one of the ones that play Madden religiously every year, you will notice it's just pretty much like Madden, but with a college twist. And it does feel like, again, not having played every mode, because apparently a lot of the mini games are the same that they have in Madden as well too. So it'll feel like a hollowed out Madden to an extent. But again, it's still like at the core, it's still college football. Like again, the pageantries and like the pageantry is still there. Like of course, the feel of college football is there. The uniqueness of each team is there. So and like it's 134 teams. It's ridiculous. Like you have plenty to choose from, and I'm sure there are plenty of playbooks that you can experiment with other than Florida. But
Oh, it could be one.
I know. I do like it. Like I do think now is it it's like, oh, it's the best sports games ever made. No, like let's give it a couple years to get its feet wet again. But to spoil a quick hit, when it went early access, it already crashed the servers, and there was almost over 700,000 players in its first day, and that was just early access. Like, think about when the standard edition launches tonight/tomorrow morning. It's going to be ridiculous.
That's crazy. I'm excited to get into it and play it. I'm looking forward to it a lot. Even though the person I game share with bought it on Xbox and not PlayStation.
Again, I had to show my Xbox love.
So gotta get it on my end and everything and check out. I actually played a little bit this week.
Played
a little bit this week. And Tuesday night I played. I hopped on. I haven't turned on my PlayStation in probably 2 months.
Yeah.
So it was like wanting to update and everything was acting weird. I jumped in and played a little bit of Helldivers, and the game has changed so much. Like, none of my weapons are like effective at all. So that was a little annoying, but I had a pretty good time with it. And then last night I was sitting on the couch, and I have Delta on my iPhone, and I was playing Pokemon Yellow last night. So you can show it right there.
Since we're talking about nostalgia and everything.
Yeah, so I was playing some Pokemon Yellow last night and enjoying it. I beat Brock already.
Okay.
So already, making some headway, and it like we were just sitting and watching some TV, and I was like, I'll just play a little Pokemon Yellow, and I've got a few Dragon Ball Z games on here as well, which I'm excited about. I got I never played this one, but Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure, like you're playing through the story of Dragon Ball. Yeah. It's like a side scroller, kind of like Donkey Kong in a way, with just like young Goku. And then I never played Legacy of Goku 2.
Okay. I
played the first one a ton. And then I never played Boost Fury. So I got both of those that I'm going to check out. But yeah, I'm glad I got some gaming time because it's been a while.
I'm surprised you haven't gotten that itch yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like,
dude, I have been. Just to kind of, I hadn't talked about this in a video yet, but Tuesday I went and I got some steroid shots in my hands, and they're doing better. Good. So I'm hoping that this will be the solution. So I can actually start doing things that I enjoy a little bit more.
Be normal again.
Yeah, exactly. And we said glad Zach got to play some this week. Definitely a win. It is definitely a win. Let's get a little air horn up in here. It's not. Where is it at? There we go.
My question is what nature did you get your Pikachu at? Nature? I'm kidding. It's troll basically, because like the new Pokemon. It's like there was a thing where it's like you had when you got to breeding Pokemon, and it was all about like, what nature do they have? Do they have a calming nature, quiet nature? And I'm just like, y'all trying to do too much with Pokemon. Just let me train them, battle them, evolve them. Like come on. Yeah. Like why do I need to care about fashion designs and natures and all that mess? So that was a tongue-in-cheek joke.
See, I like any of the new Pokemon, like all of that stuff matters. Like they haven't improved the actual story. They're just like adding on junk. And I think that's why I'm enjoying this. It was just like, man, this is like, I don't do retro gaming. Like we both, kind of old games old, but that was my first Pokemon and I'm enjoying it. And what's nice on the emulator, you can hit fast forward. So all the text goes super fast. You move super fast. So it speeds up the game because the game can be quite slow at times. So, but yeah, I'm enjoying it and very, very glad to get a little bit of gaming. Maybe have to get some football in there and whoop Derek very, very soon.
Nah, I don't think so, bud. Then you'll wake up. But no, I do remember this is like, of course, once college football dropped, all the memes came up in the like flashing NCAA 14, the last one that came out. And it was like, held down the fort for 4,024 days. Rest easy, OG. And one person was shown like dug like a little dirt patch and put their PS3 with NCAA 14, and there's like, rest easy, my child.
Oh my gosh.
And
That
then
is
of course,
hilarious.
people showing stuff about the new game dropping. It's like one guy just showed his like threw a pick six, my first play in NCAA in college football 25, and like his whole entertainment system and TV are just destroyed. Like the rage came back, and I'm like, all right, here we go. Anger issues are
Yeah,
back.
I don't know about that. I don't know
And
about that.
and then some like salty fans were showing is like about saying after getting whooped by Michigan every year, I'm about to hang 100 on them as Ohio State in college football 25. I'm like, y'all letting out some real anger.
I'm trying to find it because I'm pretty sure I posted it on my Facebook, but there
Yeah.
was. I'm trying to find it. Got a few pictures on my Facebook.
Yeah.
Got to scroll back a few years here, one or two. But it was from when we played back in the day. All right, that's 2014. Okay, we're in college now. Somewhat in college.
Oh, did you actually have a picture of hanging 100 on me?
Oh, Derek, why would I ever do that? Why would I
Oh,
ever
and
do
then someone
that?
recreated in college football the moment where this past Iron Bowl where Auburn almost beat Alabama, but the last second on a 4th and 31, Alabama scored to win. They
Oh
recreated that on
gosh.
college football, and I'm like, bro, y'all about to. I'm glad y'all are reliving the memories, but it's like y'all need to also chill. Y'all gonna cause
Yeah.
wars.
I can't find it, Derek, but
Well, then it
it's
never
there.
existed.
I'll find it, trust me, and
Mm.
I'll post it on the NerdCave so everybody can see it. Joe says, "Hey, I'm making an RPG that is the style of Pokemon. Would you play it, like graphics and stuff?" Yeah, I'd be down to try it and test it out. As long as it's not on PC, because I got one. I
Old
got
Bessie
one.
gonna huff and puff.
Yeah.
See, guys, what Zach won't tell you is I was a good sport. I could have easily, after it was like 50-0, just like backed out of the game, but I hung in there. Now, if I were to do that to Zach, hang 100 on him, as soon as I would get like 4 scores up, he'd be like, "All right, let's back out. I don't want to play this anymore."
I don't even know what you're talking about, bro.
Uh-huh.
I'm a good sport. I'm a real good
You
sport.
deserve to be in the salty spittoon, but not because you're tough, but because you're just salty.
Joe says he's been playing Overwatch and Fallout 4, which I know they're starting a new season of Overwatch, and apparently Transformers is coming to Overwatch.
I get we're in an age, especially Activision, we're in an age of collabs, which is just like anything that we can get rights to, but it's got to make sense at some point. Like I get Optimus Prime as Bastion, that does work, but it's just like not everyone's a robot. Like I don't understand what the concept was behind this.
I don't know either, dude. If I knew, I would tell you, but I don't.
Well, if you knew, you would also like do it and make money off of it.
Exactly. I don't know. Overwatch has lost its luster for me, for sure.
Oh, it lost its luster after what, 2 months on the market?
Yeah, true. And like I loved Overwatch 1 after I got past my hate Overwatch 1. Because I used to hate that game.
Oh, I know. Did Overwatch 2 come out last year or was it 2022?
I think it was 2022. Let's look. Yep, October 4th, 2022.
Man, that game's been like 2 years. That's ridiculous.
I feel like it's been dead in the water though for so long.
Oh yeah, again, until that Transformers collab was announced, I didn't even know Overwatch was still going. To be fair with you.
Yeah. And then he's playing Fallout 4, which brings us into the gaming discussion this week.
There we
Fallout Season 2 will be dropping sooner rather than later.
So Fallout Season 2 may return sooner than expected Vernon Sanders, head of TV at Amazon MGM Studios, said the scripts are ready and progress is, quote, very fast. The team has a clear vision, Sanders told Deadline. Season 2 will match or surpass Season 1's quality. We're moving quickly and think fans will be pleased. The show was nominated for the Best Drama Series at this year's Emmys, with Walter Goggins up for lead actor in a drama. So this tells me, just thinking about this, because, again, Amazon, Netflix, Apple TV, if they think it's going to be a hit, they're going to have something on the back burner just in case, but not greenlit anything until they know more, because they don't want to spend oodles of money, and then if it's a bust, waste all of it. So this tells me that they already had this. If the scripts are already ready, and the show came out when, like May, June.
It came out in May, I think.
So we're 2 months in, and the scripts are for season 2 are already done. April. Wow. Okay. So maybe they've just now wrapped it up, but still, to have a turnaround this fast on scripts means that they were already starting to write season 2, in my opinion, because they were either that confident or they just wanted to have something. They were that confident, and plus they wanted to have it ready just to keep that capitalization or strike while the iron's hot type deal. So I don't know. It's good for this. It's good for the show. Like I think if it's going to be better now, the better quality, I believe as well. And if it's going to be better quality, like again, it's going to matter when they start shooting. But potentially, if they start shooting, if the scripts are done and they start shooting it, let's say October, November, December, it could be ready by spring.
Yeah, it definitely could. I just looked up. The show came out April 10th. It was reported.
Doesn't feel like that.
Yeah, it was reported on April 18th that the show was renewed for a second season.
Yeah.
So things are moving pretty quickly, and I think people are getting past this. Like I heard Tim and Andy talking about this on Kind of Funny, where Game of Thrones kind of changed the scenery of like how long a season should take to make and everything.
True.
And it's not been necessarily good. And I would totally agree, because anytime there's a huge break like Game of Thrones season 6 to 7, it was not great. House of Dragons, like it's been almost 2 years since we got House of Dragons.
Wow.
And it's like, okay, what's going on in the show? And then you get something like Mandalorian season 3, where it does, like, nothing feels super connected. And then you look at Stranger Things, that show should have been done and gone.
Yeah, and it's now just getting its final season, what, next year?
Yeah, something like that. And it's like, I'm glad that we're getting a little bit closer to, every year we're getting a new season. That is what it should be. And I know it's like, yes, they're making things that are on big, large scale, but when people want something, they want it then and now.
Right.
And it's like, I feel like people don't really care about movies right now.
No, because it's all about TV. And it's like, again, once you watch a movie, like, of course, there's always the repeat. You can always keep watching it on repeat if you need to, unless it's in theaters, because then that gets expensive. But with TV shows, it's like there's a new, like, now, unless they just like drop it all at once, like they did with Fallout, right? You have to repeat it, but there's just multiple episodes to watch. Like Disney Plus does this. Like, I haven't watched it yet, but The Acolyte, like it just aired its last episode Tuesday, and it's been airing since June. So we've had a month and a half of a TV show to watch, like, every week. It's like the same thing with anime. Anime is when a new season drops, it's weekly. So I think it's just that constant, like, newness and immediate. Now, of course, it's always that debate of immediate gratitude or instant gratitude type thing. Like, I want it now, like, give it to me now. So it's it still kind of sets that mindset, but also it's just that feeling of like, oh, I got to watch this new episode, or, type deal. So I think the way we consume small stuff, and again, COVID played a lot of it, because, we couldn't go to the theaters for a long time. And so it's like everyone wanted to binge watch TV, and it's like, oh man, there's a new show of this, or they're rebooting the series. Like, let me check this out. So I think TV has had a resurgence over the last couple of years too.
Yeah, and I think going back to and these shows, like it takes a lot to build these
Yeah.
shows. Fallout, like I loved this show. It was so well done. They made the world feel realistic,
Yeah.
as realistic as Fallout could be, type deal. But it felt like the games, and I know the showrunner and all of that was talking about, we've only scratched the surface, compared to a game that has thousands of hours of things to do in the world. It's like we've got a lot more to explore. And I hope, season 2, it's like, where could the story go from here? Like, there's a lot of options. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone that hasn't watched season 1. Highly suggest going to watch it. Even if you're not a Fallout fan, if you're just looking for a good show, the storytelling is really, really solid in it. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of it, because when video games are adapted well, this, and then thinking of Last of Us as well, like we can have some amazing, amazing stories. And you look on the opposite side of the coin, it came out today that Halo, the TV series, is canceled.
Oh, wow.
They're not doing another season. They're doing 2. Microsoft and 343 are looking to shop it around, but Paramount is not wanting to do any more of it.
Crazy.
And it's like, if you look at that, and then you look at something like Fallout, and then you even look at what we reported on last week with the Horizon show, it's like people are hungry for these things, but it has to be done well, and it has to treat the actual game lore very respectful. That's why Last of Us has done so well, and that's why Fallout has done so well.
Isn't the God of War being done by Amazon as well? The God of War TV show?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah. So I'm super stoked about it. And, they got, I think, 16 noms. We'll talk about that in the quick hits and everything. But that is amazing. So I am super stoked for Fallout Season 2. Y'all let us know what you thought about the first season and what you want to see in the second season. I hope, like, there's potential to see a lot of stuff from Fallout.
Yes.
I hope it doesn't go the route of, like a Walking Dead, where they try to milk it. There's a lot of stories, but like it just needs to be done the right way.
Correct.
So let us know what you think down in the comments below. Let's move to the second story. Larian's CEO reveals Baldur's Gate 3 kept winning so many awards that it actually affected development of the game.
So Sven Vinke, CEO of Larian Studios and game director of Baldur's Gate 3, revealed that the game's numerous awards have impacted its development. Vinke explained that the team had to rotate development staff to attend various award shows. Quote, "It affects development. There's a lot of them. This has been a real problem." Noting that as Baldur's Gate 3 kept winning, Larian had to rotate teams to collect the awards, which is probably why they didn't decide to do any kind of like big DLC. They just do updates, and that would explain it. Like, again, it's sort of like a embarrassment of riches. Like, you just keep getting nominated and winning awards. But I do see what he's talking about in the fact of like, yeah, we've had to hire more people, which is with all the layoffs, it's a good thing. At the same time, when you're rotating new people in, it does affect like what you're trying to do with the game, because then these people who didn't even come in from the ground up are just like, yeah, what's going on? What am I doing? Like, what's my role here? And then the people who were working on it previously come back and it's like, what did you do? Like, what is all this junk? You know what I mean? Or probably not like that, but it's just like, all right, what happened here? What's going on? Like, I don't understand it. So I do get it from that aspect, but it also kind of comes off as sort of like, not arrogant, but sort of like childish, where it's just like, oh, woe is me. We're going to another award show, and now we have to sacrifice development because we have to hire or change out teams to send representation, which I get. And again, if it's like 2 award shows within a week, that makes sense. But it's like, if award shows are like a month apart, you don't have to send a different team every time. You could just send it the same team. Like, use your brain.
I don't know. Like, I totally see where they're coming from
Yeah.
on this, because it's like, okay, you send, a team, and they are over, you know, storytelling and all of that, and you're in a story flow or whatever, and then it's like, okay, next time we're sending B team, and then it on the roadmap of development it intersects with that team, and it's like, oh crap.
Mm,
It's like, yes, we are super successful, that is amazing, like that is great, but I can also see it's like, Derek, as a winner myself,
yeah.
I totally
Mhm.
understand where Sven is coming from. It's like you win so much, it gets kind of tiring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you get told every day, "Hey, you're the man," you're just
My
kind of like,
arms are getting tired from holding all these trophies.
yeah, yeah. So I understand it. It is kind of comical though.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's just like, all right,
It's like, are
yeah.
you really complaining about this?
But it's like you don't have to send representation to every show.
No. Like,
And
only send it to the ones that matter, like Game Awards.
yeah, and like I think BAFTA, Game Awards, and that's really it. Those are,
Yeah. Because I mean, if you send someone to Poland's Game Awards, like, who's watching that outside of Poland? So it's like, that's your choice to make.
yeah, because BAFTA is the side where it's not BAFTA, Dice. That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking of. Dice. I don't know where BAFTA came from. Dice, that is decided on by game developers' peers.
Yeah.
That's important. And then the Game Awards is the largest game, award
Hmm.
show there is. So I understand when you have a knockout success, you kind of just want to let the good times roll. So I don't
Right.
fault them for that, but it is quite comical to see all the things going on over at Larian, and I'm very curious what they're going to be making next, since they're not working on Baldur's Gate 4. They're going to be working on their own IP. So
Right.
will they be as successful without that IP? Only time will tell.
Hmm.
Just like only time will tell when we see the Switch end its reign, because right now Switch is the longest running Nintendo console without being replaced.
So the Nintendo Switch has become the longest running Nintendo home console, surpassing the NES's record. It has lasted 2,688 days, or 7 years, which is over 7 years, without a next gen replacement, beating the NES's 2,686 days. With a successor still distant, the Switch continues strong, evidenced up by upcoming titles like The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Mario and Luigi Brothership, Professor Layton and the New World of Steam, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, and Pokemon Legends ZA. So this is a feat, and it further shows that Nintendo made the right choice by not only sticking to home consoles, but also making up the mistake that was the Wii U, and not making it convoluted with the messaging, the naming, all that kind of stuff. It's like, hey, let's have the best of both worlds by making a hybrid console, or a console that you can play at home and also take with you on the go. So I'm happy for this. Like, of course, it's gonna continue until the Switch 2 or whatever the next Nintendo console is going to be comes out. So this could extend to well over 2,700 days, obviously, or maybe even 2,800, or close to that, depending on when they want to launch the next console. So good on them, and it's also a big thing when you Sony can take a page out of this book when you support the system that you make, not just throw it against out there like the Vita, like the PSVR 2, and just
Mhm.
say, here you go, buy it. We don't have many games to choose from, but we have it. Please buy it. And then it doesn't sell, and then they wonder why. Or again, like I said, a bad decision in the Wii U, and then it doesn't sell either.
Yeah, 100%. And kind of gone are the days of long cycles of gaming
Correct.
consoles.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of to a 5 to 7 year period, and then
Yeah.
we get a new one. I was the PlayStation is the longest running one that is a modern console. Like, I'm not counting like Atari or anything like that.
Right.
They're saying 1977 to 1992. I'm not counting any of that.
No.
But if you look at PlayStation, the PS2 was 2000 to 2013.
Wow.
Yeah, 13
That's
years.
crazy.
And they were still making consoles until like the last 4 or 5 years,
Yeah.
because they were still being bought over in India.
Right.
So
Because wasn't it like FIFA 17 or something like that? That was like the last FIFA game for the PS2.
yeah, and that being said, is like, as long as you support it, like, I remember so many good games on the
Mhm.
PlayStation 2, because it wasn't just indies. There wasn't really an indie market at that point. It
No.
was double A and triple A, and that was really it. But there were so many games, and PlayStation didn't give up on it. And I'm excited about next year's lineup of Switch consoles or Switch games. It
Yeah.
is kind of like the B team is coming out and playing on the court. The bench
Yeah.
is coming out and playing on the court.
These are the
While
last couple. It's like, hey, we're up by 40. Let's let the bench warmers come out and play. Like that. Essentially, that's essentially what it is. Like it's better than saying, oh, they're out of ideas. Let's just get this last couple of games. Because I mean, Echoes of Wisdom does look dope.
yeah,
So
and I know people are super stoked for Metroid Prime 4,
right.
and for me, like, we had this conversation a few weeks ago on Bo Knows Gaming, like,
Mhm.
Metroid Prime 4 compared to like Doom Eternal. Like, yeah, Doom Eternal looks like so much more interesting to me,
Yeah.
and more of a shooter than Metroid Prime 4, but it is a totally different game. So I'm not going to knock on it tonight or anything, but
Yeah.
there are some really cool ones in there. The Mario and Luigi Brothership does look really cool as
Mhm.
well. So there's a lot coming to Switch, which makes me feel like we might be getting Switch 2 at the end of 2025, for
Correct.
that kind of fall release
Holiday
going
rush.
into,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
it'd be
they can
smart time.
borrow. So they can bundle Mario Kart with it again.
Hey, Mario Kart Ultimate Deluxe, all the packs.
Infinite Edition.
Yeah,
It's going to be the Super Smash Brothers Ultimate of Mario Kart at that point.
I don't put it past them. And I hope
Yeah.
that they do it so the meme can continue. Guys, if you want to have something awesome to put in your Christmas stocking, metaphorically speaking, make sure to subscribe to the Nerd Cave News on podcast services of your choice. We're on Spotify, Apple, and so many others. And make sure to give us a 5-star review. It helps us within the ranking of all of the podcast services. And make sure you subscribe to us here on YouTube, because we also have a podcast version on the old YouTube platform. And you don't want to miss out on any of the cool things that we do here on the channel. We've got so many awesome things coming your way. We got Eat Sleep Anime. We've got more
Mhm.
and more cool content being made each and every week. Might have to play some college football, might have to, put Derek in the ground. We don't know, but make sure that you subscribe to the Nerd Cave and the Nerd Cave News on podcast services around the
World.
there you go. Moving on.
Well,
X what?
I was just going to say, you talking about put me in the ground. Boy, I've already got 3 days on you. I've been knocking the rust off. So,
That's why you bought it on Xbox. You're like, I'm gonna sneak this past Zach. I'm gonna sneak this past Zach.
you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be outdone.
Mm-hmm. You will be.
Mm.
You will be. Kneel before Zod.
Okay.
Ex Activision dev mentions the Crash 5 that never was, and now fans are heartbroken.
So Nicholas Cole, a former character designer at Toys for Bob, tweeted about a project codenamed Dragon at Phoenix Labs, which was near early access launch before being canceled. Amid confusion with an unannounced Spyro project, Cole revealed that Crash 5 was also in the works but abandoned. It's not Spyro, but one day people will hear about the Crash 5 that never was. Cole clarified that Project Dragon and Crash 5 were canceled projects at different studios. And I kind of wish he would have gone into a little bit of detail about what the ideas were. I guess I know we'll find out later, but I kind of wish he went into details about the concepts they were creating for Crash 5 because the gap between Crash 3 and Crash 4 was so long. And again, the tagline for Crash 4 was very tongue in cheek, where it's like it's about time. Where yeah, it's about time control powers, multiverse, and all that kind of stuff. But also, it's just like it's about time we got a new Crash Bandicoot. So I really liked it. And again, this is just another case of Activision ruining things. It's like, hey, the studio is really good at making games. Would be a real shame if we just merged it into a QA studio to help us pull out our moneymakers that get worse over years. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, and with Crash 4, it sold over 5 million copies.
Right.
So it sold pretty well. So again, with the acquisition happening with Microsoft and Toys for Bob being literally brought in to work on flipping Call of Duty, just like Vicarious Visions being gobbled up as well to work on servicing all that kind of stuff.
I think, and how about this? I think they were going to, now I think about it, because I got them mixed up, because Vicarious Visions is, but I think Toys for Bob wanted to be, and they're like, nah, we're going to go out. We're going to go independent.
Yeah, Toys for Bob is now independent, and they have a contract with Microsoft to work on a new Spyro. That's what they're doing, but Vicarious Vision got gobbled up a few years ago before the acquisition even started being talked about.
True.
Now, I know you were talking about, I wish you would give him a little bit more. Like, I think NDA is the only thing that's keeping him from saying anything.
True.
Because, like, I feel like even this would be like stepping on the line of, am I going to say more than I'm supposed to about my NDA?
Well, and here's my thing, though. Like, if they're partnering to do a Spyro game, why not just do the Crash 5 game that was I don't understand it. If you're going to let them do one Activision project, why not do the other or do the one that people want? Because I'm not saying people don't want to play Spyro, but Crash has definitely seen more of a resurgence than the Spyro Reignited trilogy has over the last couple of years. So why not strike while the iron is hot? Like, why try and revive something that was like B tier, in my opinion?
Well, Spyro Reignited trilogy actually sold 10 million copies worldwide compared to
okay.
5.
I stand corrected. All right, then.
So I think, that is probably why we're getting Spyro before we do get Crash. But I could definitely see after they do a new Spyro that they go back to Crash, make Crash 5 because, it did sell well, but yeah, you can't argue with that doubling.
True. That I'm not saying, like I said, I stand corrected. I'll eat my words on that one.
So only time will tell if we actually get to see any of the Crash 5 that never was. But there's some PlayStation news that I'm hankering to talk about with good old Derek. A coalition job listing seems to suggest that Gears of War E-Day will have a PlayStation release in its future.
Insider Gaming found a job listing from Gears of War Dev, the Coalition, seeking a senior online client engineer with experience in various digital storefronts, including the PlayStation Store and PSN. This hints at potential PlayStation releases, though nothing is confirmed. And so back when all this, like, they started to bring their properties to PlayStation, like Sea of Thieves, Hi-Fi Rush, Grounded, and there's one more I think I'm forgetting. Pentiment, thank you. They were like, all right, and they saw success, especially with Sea of Thieves. Like, it's pretty much got new life breathed into it by coming to PlayStation. So they're like, okay, bet. Now we're going to consider almost everything on the table, like even Halo, like our crown jewel, essentially, is even on the table to go to PlayStation. And I know we talked about it, as potential ideas before we even do anything. Of like Gears of War is a possibility. Now, will they put the other ones on there before E-Day's release? I don't know. It would make sense, but then again, I could also see them testing the waters like, hey, let's just throw E-Day out there to see if people want to play Gears of War, and then we'll bring the rest of it to. But this kind of coincides with what we were thinking of. It just makes sense because Gears of War, like while it is very synonymous with Xbox, it is not its lifeblood. It was a sort of like in the 360 era, a Johnny come lately, whereas Halo has been there since Xbox's inception. So it was held more dearly than Gears of War. But man, I just, like I would probably have to buy 2 copies of Gears of War if it did come to PlayStation because I still have to play it on Xbox. But I the ability to get to, like Lancer some people in the face on PlayStation just is too good to pass up.
Dude, imagine playing Gears of War with this
DualSense
haptic
5. Oh my
feedback.
gosh, brother.
Dude, that would be so amazing. Like feeling like the chainsaw, like oh my god, and just like feeling like you're going through the bones and everything.
I know.
Oh.
and then like missing the perfect reload and then feeling it jam up on the controller, like that would be dope.
Yeah. So do I want it just on Xbox? In a way, I do because I feel like I am a purist in some things regarding gaming. But if this is the path forward, which it seems like Xbox is down for, being everywhere, they talked about that several times. I would like to see, it. There is kind of a catch-22 of putting out the older games first and then E-Day. Because if people don't know, I feel like most gamers know what Gears of War is, but the ones that haven't played it, and then there's this new one, it's coming out on PlayStation as well, and it's like, well, I never played the other one, so I'm going to, not do that. I'll
especially if they want to play it chronologically. It's like, oh, this takes place before this. I mean, and then it's like, all right, then we have to play Judgment. Like if they wanted to play it in order to understand the timeline, it's like, all right, this one's technically first, but it's the latest one. So do I just wait? Do I just wait to play that first, or do I start from Gears 1?
Yeah. So I feel like they need to really hone down messaging with this. They need to come out with a Gears of War collection on both consoles, and PC. Gears of War collection. And, we did get Gears of War Ultimate probably about 5 or 6 years ago. And it's like, I would love to see updated 2 and 3. That would be awesome. And I'm not even saying we have to get Judgment Day in there. Like, do 1 through 5. And get them all, all in one collection, just like the Master Chief collection, and get that on both systems. That way, when E-Day comes out, everybody has had the time to play all of these games, because you look at how well Sony has done their job of, okay, there's a new version of this game about to come out, and then they put out Horizon Zero Dawn on the PC and gets new life into that game, getting people excited. Horizon Forbidden West comes out. PC people are still eating on the first one. And then 6 months later, boom, Horizon Forbidden West comes out on PC. And people are excited again for that because they're getting fed over there. And I think this might be Xbox's chance to really tap into a much, much larger market with the PlayStation, because it's already sold like 100 and
so it's already outpacing. Yeah, it's already outpaced the PS4 from like year over year in sales wise. So and again, like with E-Day not even having a release year, it would be perfect to give the collection, put the collection out on PlayStation to get everyone hyped up and excited, like you said, for the inevitable. But I would do it like, let's just say E-Day is 2026 or even late 2025. Announce the collection. Let's just say in a perfect world, announce it at Game Awards, and it's launching spring of 25. That way, it gives you plenty of time to get all through that for the launch of E-Day.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that would be great. Or do a holiday release.
Yeah.
And like you've got enough time to play through all of them. You're eating it up. You have servers online so people can play crossplay.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't say for each game I would pick the one that you would want to host. That way you're not having multiple.
True.
I can't remember how Master Chief Collection worked with their online mode.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember that either. Oh no.
Yeah, I can't remember. I did want to correct one thing real quick. On PS5 sales, they've sold. This is as of May. This is an estimate. They've sold 59.3 million units sold so far in its lifetime.
Yeah.
But it is on track to surpass the PlayStation 4 with sales, and PlayStation 4 was like 120 or
yeah.
I guess I'll look that up as well. It was for sales. Number 117.16 million sold to date.
You were close. You're 100. You said 120.
Yep. So I'm excited for Gears of War E-Day possibly coming to the PlayStation. Y'all let us know. Are you excited to see more Xbox games coming over to what we consider, the competition and everything? Y'all let us know. But it is time for a very quick PlayStation Quickies.
There's only 2 this week, and it's kind of surprising. We kind of in a slow PlayStation slump right now. First up, Zenless Zone Zero, confirmed to be a timed PS5 exclusive. And lastly, Astrobot features an overhauled game engine, and the main game lasts around 12 to 15 hours. And man, that's like less than 2 months away. I'm kind of excited. Like Star Wars Outlaws is just over a month away. Like we about to get into some serious gaming gameplay here lately coming up.
Yeah, we're about to eat, and it's very interesting. Last year we had Star Wars Jedi Survivors, and now we're getting Star Wars Outlaws. I'm wondering if that, and yes, we did get Hunters, but I'm not including that in this like big releases. I'm wondering if this trend is going to continue because we're about. I don't know of any other ones at the moment, but I know we're about to get a slew of Marvel games that are coming out as well. So I feel like we might be switching from Star Wars to Marvel games.
Yeah, and I mean the only other one that's in development, because I think it's done by Quantic Dream, is Eclipse, but we don't know. We haven't seen that game in over almost 2 years. So who knows when we'll see that again. So in terms of like when, because we know of Star Wars games in development, like with KOTOR remake still in limbo, but it's not been canceled yet. And then, like I said, Eclipse. But yeah, you're right. We're about to get a ton of Marvel games coming out over the next planned year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah. It's gonna be dope. I'm looking forward to a lot of the Marvel games. I think the one Amy Henning is working on one, if I remember correct.
Yes, it's the one with the
it's like set in World War II.
Yeah, with Captain America and T'Chaka as Black Panther.
Yeah. Like they were showing off some of the graphics capabilities of the engine and everything, and it was absolutely insane. Just like it's absolutely insane that it is time for the Patreon quick hits. These quick hits are brought to you by our wonderful patrons. Go support the Nerd Cave by getting your very own Nerd Cave membership to help us continue to make awesome shows just like this one. Become part of the ship, part of the crew by going over to patreon.com/nerdcave. Do it. It's time for the Patreon quick hits.
So first up, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D will offer, quote, surprises for Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake players. It looks like Raccoon Logic is working on a sequel to Journey to the Savage Planet called Revenge of the Savage Planet. Planet Coaster 2 has been announced with the trailer revealing a water park attraction and fall 2024 launch window. The Karate Kid Street Rumble, a pixel art beat-em-up announced for PC and consoles. 3 new Game Boy Advance games previously only available in Japan drop onto Switch. The First Descendant has hit 10 million players in its first week. Atlas surveys U.S. players if they'd play a new Etrian Odyssey game and if they want Persona 5 The Phantom X globally. Ubisoft confirms it is, quote, actively working on the Driver franchise, but live-action series is dead. Aliens Fireteam Elite 2, reportedly codenamed Project Macondo, is set for a Q3 2025 release. Call of Duty gets WWE crossover with Season 5. Black Ops 6 open beta dates have been revealed, with the early access hitting from August 30th to September 4th, and then the regular beta will be going on from September 6th to the 9th. Black Ops 6 omnidirectional movement can't be turned off. Inaugural Olympic Esports Games 2025 will be held in Saudi Arabia. The Witcher 4 is the, quote, the most advanced of CD Projekt Red's upcoming slate. Mortal Kombat 1 confirms Takeda Takahashi release date for July 23rd. Project 007 lead says working on the James Bond game, quote, feels organic after Hitman. TMNT Mutant Mayhem gets first trailer in October 18th release. College Football 25's servers are getting crushed before it's even fully released. This is in for the deluxe edition release earlier this week. College Football 25 reportedly pulls in as many as 700,000 players in its first day of early access period. Massive is, quote, hyper conscious of the Ubisoft house style when developing Star Wars Outlaws, but says they're, quote, different. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora's first story DLC, The Skybreaker, is out now. Dead by Daylight is getting cross progression across all platforms. The casting of Frank Stone, which is supposed to be a single player story Dead by Daylight, terrorizes players on September 3rd. New Like a Dragon game set for Tokyo Game Show 2024 reveal. Nintendo is raising the Famicom Detective Club series from the dead with Emio, the Smiling Man. Fallout show nominated for 16 Emmys, including Best Actor for Walter Goggins. Sequel to viral hit Yeah, You Want Those Games, Right? Gets surprise release. Orcs Must Die Death Trap announced for PC and Series X and S. Amazon is now selling a, quote, no console required Xbox bundle. And lastly, analyst says Xbox Game Pass price hikes were, quote, inevitable.
Ubisoft confirming they're actively working on the Driver franchise. Derek, I loved the Driver franchise growing up.
Huh.
That game was so fun, and played Driver 1 all the time. Me and my brother. Driver 2 was really, really great as well. Only got to play that here and there because like we would rent it. But in a 2024 world, I'm wondering what Driver will look like. Will it be akin to a GTA at this point?
Yeah.
Are we going to get that in this? But I didn't even know there was a live action series planned.
Me either. And, I vaguely remember them saying something, they were going to do something with the franchise like years ago, but I didn't even know that was still a thing, like a live action series. I was like, okay, I didn't even know that was still on the cards, but glad they canceled that.
Yeah. So do I want a Driver game? Yes, I'll play another one. You know what I want more from Ubisoft? Flippin' Splinter Cell, for the love of Jesus. Splinter Cell.
I'm once again asking you to give me Splinter Cell.
Yes, my Lord, is it that difficult? We're getting a remake of flipping Metal Gear Solid 3 before we get a new Splinter Cell.
Let me ask you this: would old Zach be okay because I think they talked about this and like they greenlit it? Like, would you be okay with a Splinter Cell remake or a new entry in the franchise, or both?
Both, I guess, but I'd rather have a new entry.
Yeah.
Like, let Sleeping Dogs lie at this point. I understand the whole, like, oh, we're going to reboot it. But I feel like that's such a movie franchise thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Ubisoft.
Yeah, true that. But we see how well Prince of Persia's done. Their remake, thankfully Lost Crown has done awesome for him. But yeah, like I definitely want a new Driver, but I want Splinter Cell more than any other Ubisoft game.
Yeah.
Like I would give up Star Wars Outlaws for a new Splinter Cell.
Wow.
Yeah. That's how much I love Splinter Cell.
Man, I never thought I'd see you the day you turned down a Star Wars property, period, for something else.
I hadn't had Splinter Cell in years, and Blacklist, or what was it? Was it Blacklist? Yeah, that one sucked so bad.
What are you talking about? It was the best.
Like, it was such a poor attempt at a Splinter Cell game. Now, Double Agent was awesome. Chaos Theory was great. Like, but Blacklist, you left me on such a weak game. So that's all my ranting aside.
Yeah.
A lot of good things coming down the pipe for gaming. We got a lot of great games coming out this fall. As you know, we're already like halfway through July, Derek.
Dude, it's ridiculous. Like, I know they say time moves faster as you get older, but it's like, all right, pump the brakes just a little bit.
It's just like every time I breathe, it's a new month. So we'll have a new Eat Sleep Anime before we know it.
Oh, I know. About to say, end of September will be here, and we'll be talking about the fall anime.
Yeah. So, guys, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Nerd Cave News. We'll be back next week with more awesome news, and we're going to be watching you.
All right.
We're going to be watching you.
That's creepy. All right, Skynet.
We're online. Guys, we love y'all. You have a wonderful week. This has been Zach.
And Silas Harper.
I was like, why didn't you say your name?
Now who's out of practice? Come on, bro.
And old John Stevenson. Y'all have a blessed week. Bye-bye.